News 46 is brought to you by Inspiration Senior Living, where we provide affordable elegance to Pahrump area seniors. Give us a call at 751-2300 and make an appointment to tour our community. News is also brought to you by Dr. George Leeks, Pahrump's optometrist since 1990, offering full spectrum eye care for children and adults. Call today, 727-8300. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Tonight on News 46, a man is killed by a suspected drunk driver.
A structure fire takes the life of a homeowner.
And water testing is conducted near Beatty. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Monday, January 4th, 2016. We hope you had a wonderful holiday weekend. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Jennifer Moots for News 46.
75-year-old Harold Strickland was tragically killed while riding his scooter Friday by a suspected drunk driver.
Early on New Year's Day, we were dispatched to report of a serious motor vehicle accident in Betty and North Leslie. Upon arrival, we found, in fact, it was a motor vehicle accident. One vehicle had overturned after striking a moped. The rider of the moped was declared deceased at the scene and did not survive his injuries. The other person self-extricated out over the overturned vehicle and was subsequently flown out by Mercier for his significant injuries.
Because that car rolled, actually, after striking that moped, right?
It did. It appeared that it had multiple rotations after the initial impact with the moped at the intersection.
Do you know if that driver had a seatbelt on at the time?
We don't know, as that person was out of the vehicle on our arrival, but did display significant injuries. I can tell you that, again, the rider of the moped did not survive the impact with the vehicle.
And do you know how this accident happened at this point?
No, but it was being investigated, I think, through a collaborative effort by both the Sheriff's Office as well as NHP was going to be a system.
A possible drunk driver involved?
We've heard that, but I don't know for certain, but I did hear that on the scene.
Another 75-year-old Keith McKinney was killed after refusing to leave his home, reportedly stating to dispatch that he was going to save his animals inside the residence. According to a neighbor of McKinney's, he had at least 3 Bichon Frise dogs inside the home. The man is said to have rescued animals and kept them on his property on Windsong. 3 dogs and a cat were outside of the home and were unharmed. Animal Control has taken custody of those animals.
In the evening hours on New Year's Day, we were dispatched to report of a structure fire. While we were en route, dispatch informed us that the occupant was safely out of the house. However, he had intended to go back into the burning building to try and assist or retrieve pets. Dispatch, instructed him not to do so, but he, I guess, subsequently hung up the phone. And so it was assumed that he may have been back in the house. We treated it en route as a rescue assignment, and we formulated a plan while still en route that it was going to be a blitz attack, which means large water in a short period of time. Upon arrival, we found, in fact, that the house that was well involved was actually surrounded by large trees, which prohibited us from using our master stream devices on the apparatus because it would have been infected going through the trees. So we deployed our hand lines, spoke with neighbors briefly as we're doing that. Nobody could account for the occupant, so we treated it as it was going to be now a probable recovery if the person was in there due to the extreme fire that we found on our arrival.
The occupant did die in the fire? Do you know at this time?
We did not know that until very later on because the extent of damage to the structure and its greatly deteriorated condition due to the heavy fire, it took us a long period of time to methodically be able to go through that structure. Floors were compromised, the roof was down, and so we had to make sure that nobody was subsequently injured as a result of that type of search. And we did, in fact, find a victim, and the victim was located on the southeast corner of the structure.
And then he had several animals inside and outside the structure. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, it was an interesting property. It had a pond. There was a number of waterfowl in the pond. There were dogs that were actually placed into a secondary accessory building, and they all appeared to be uninjured. It was not clear to us exactly what pets he was going into the structure for. There wasn't any obvious pets that we were able to locate in there.
So you don't know how many pets, if any, were deceased on scene?
No, there was no evidence of any pets when we were doing our search.
And where did the fire start? Do you know how it started?
Well, the Deputy State Fire Marshal was summoned that evening. However, due to the late hour, he came out the next morning because of the daylight and been going through the structure, again, making sure everybody was safe. He came out. At this time, it appears to be accidental. However, an exact determination as what the ignition was is unknown at this point. We hope to at least have a pretty good idea in the short future.
I know that there's some obvious advice to let people know here.
You know, it's the same thing we discuss on a regular basis. If you're experiencing a problem in the house and it's a fire or something, get out, stay out, go to a safe area, and allow us to try and save any animals or anything like that. And, you know, the possessions, it's secondary. You know, animals are very important to all of us, but here we lost a person, and I'm not sure there was any animals in the house to be saved at the time. We're unsure of that. His actions put himself in a very difficult situation, which he was unable to egress out of.
And our hearts and prayers go out to the families. President Barack Obama said today he was confident his plan to go around Congress and implement new gun control measures by executive action would withstand any legal challenge. The president said he planned to roll out the new restrictions aimed at combating a wave of recent shootings in the coming days. He will hold a town hall on the topic on Thursday that will air on CNN and is expected to make it a focus next week during his final State of the Union address.
Right after this break, we'll have your Desert View Hospital health tip.